So Soon here, as you can see, he's the regional director and advisor for Malaysia and Hong Kong. He's based in New Zealand and he's a New Zealand licensed immigration advisor. So anything related to visas, ask in the end. Okay. And then myself, I'm the regional partner. I'm based in Malaysia. So anything in reference to university options, but let's focus on LinkedIn. So anything regarding to the requirements and everything, feel free to ask me. And then Yao, who is directly from Lincoln University, and he's the international manager covering Asia for Lincoln University in New Zealand. And Caitlin, who's the business coordinator based in Philippines. So these are the panelists for today. Any questions, feel free to ask any of us in the text box. Okay. So this is a quick map here where New Zealand is based. You see that little tiny dot over there, right there on the bottom, that's New Zealand. So it's not far from Australia, 3 hours away. And you can see from China, from Malaysia, where it's located. This is just for you to understand in terms of New Zealand where it is. And it's why do we say why choose New Zealand? I mean, you've all heard that New Zealand is very safe. It's actually ranked as the third safest country in the world. And I think that's very important right now to know where you want to go in terms of safeness. And also, it's a place where you can work while studying. The the institutions that are based there are top 3% globally. And my favorite thing about New Zealand, it has world-class adventures, bungee jumping, skiing, surfing, hiking, and many other things to do. Okay. This is just an overview of the New Zealand education system. So, and in terms of levels, so usually when they refer to certificates, it's from level 1 to 4. And still level 5, 6, and 7, you're moving towards certificates and diplomas. And then 7, which is when you want to do the bachelor's degree, you would refer to level 7. And then level 8 would be other programs as well and postgraduate certificates. And then 9 is the master's degree, and then 10. These are just for your reference to know in terms of the New Zealand education system. Okay. This is just again recap. So level 7 is the bachelor's degree, graduate certificate, and diplomas. So in terms of the education system, I'm not going to cover most of this here. This is just general information. English requirements. So in terms of English requirements, the bachelor's, you definitely need an IELTS 6, no less than 5.5 for generally all the programs. And then for master's, it's 6.5. Now, if you have PTE or other English tests that you've actually passed, you can provide it to us, and it's also acceptable in New Zealand. PTE is also acceptable. Okay. You can study this, of course, if you're going for PhD, then it's a 7. Okay.
Okay, post-study option. I think most of you who wants to come to New Zealand, at the end of the day, you want to be able to work. All right. So New Zealand offer the most generous post-study work visa options. Just for comparison, for example, in Australia, if you are an adult student, you already reached 35 years old. There's no post-study work visa for you. Does not matter what level of study you are doing. But in New Zealand, the post-study work visa option is there's no age limit. Okay. Of course, we don't want you to come after 55, but even if you come after 55 or 65 years old, you are still eligible to apply for post-study work visa, depending on the level of your study. For example, if you are coming here to do a master degree, okay, and a master degree and a minimum of 1 year, 1 academic year, or we call it 30 academic weeks, then you get 3 years post-study work visa. Okay, similarly for bachelor degree, postgraduate diploma. Okay, and then later this year, they're going to introduce graduate diploma level 7s would also be eligible for post-study work visa. And again, there are a few more changes, even if you are studying below level 7s. For example, if you are doing level 5, level 6, and diploma in level 7, I think end of this year, the government is going to allow you to work at least to have at least a what they call it a short a graduate work visa, temporary graduate work visa for about 6 months. Okay, so let me go through this. For bachelor level 7, postgraduate diploma level 8, master and PhD, all this what we call it post-study work visa, they are open work visa. What do we mean by open work visa? Open work visa means that you can work in any field, any job that is you are legally allowed. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be related to your study. For example, if you are doing a bachelor in IT, but if you find a job where after you finish, you get your post-study work visa, and if you find a job in other areas before moving to get a IT professions, you can still work in those other areas. Okay, there's no limit of, there's no restrictions in terms of what type of occupation you can do post-study work visa. But if you are doing level 7 non-degree, all right, level 7 non-degree, there's some restriction, okay? If you're doing level 7 non-degree or lower qualification, and those qualifications are actually specified on the green list, okay? You're allowed to work depending on how long is your study. If you study 1 year, you get 1 year. If you study 2 years, you get 2 years. But this is not an open post-study work visa. Okay, this is a restricted post-study work visa. What we mean by that is that it must be related to your study. If you do a graduate diploma in, say, early childhood education, all right, during your post-study work visa, you can only do early childhood education work as a teacher. Okay, you cannot do any other work. Okay, so that's why we prefer, or we will always encourage people to come here and talk to us, talk to Raja, talk to Kathleen, and talk to me. And you can even talk to Yao as well. Okay, next. Can we move on to the next slide? Yeah. So for those who have families, you want to bring your partners, you want to bring your dependents, I'm sure. If you are doing you are doing a level 9 master degree, you're eligible to bring your partners. Okay. And your partner is also eligible to work while you study. Okay. Or if you are doing a qualification that is actually specified on the green list. Okay. While you're doing a study, for example, graduate diploma in ECE, okay, or bachelor degree in nursing. If you have a partner, your partner can join you while you're studying, and your partner can actually get an open work visa. Again, this is an open work visa, meaning that the partner can work in any areas. There's no restriction. Okay. But if they are not on the level 9 or they are not on the green list, they are not doing a qualification on the green list, they are allowed to join you, but they can only come here as a visitor visa. Okay. As a visitor visa. What about your children? Okay, if you are doing level 9, again, if you're doing level 9 and above, your children will be because remember, level 9 and above, you can bring your partners. When you bring your partners, your partner will be on work visa, and then your children will be dependent on your partner who is holding a work visa. They actually can come here on a student visa or a visitor visa. When they come here on a domestic student visa, they can actually study in New Zealand for free. Okay, so basically, if you're doing level 9 and above, just one person study paying full fees as an international students, the whole family can come. Your partners can come here and work. Your children can come here and study, and they literally free studying age from year 1 to year 13. Okay, so this is why New Zealand offer a very generous pathway for people who are coming here for master degree or for doing a qualification that is actually specified on the green list. So it is a very generous program. Okay, next. Now I'll pass this on to Yao, and Yao will continue with the presentations.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah.
I'll be quick because I think we have quite a number of questions. So I'm just going to run through Lincoln University and what our program offers. Let me just share my screen.
So everyone, if you have any questions, please put your question in the chat box, sorry, in the Q&A box. We'll answer that in a minute after the
Yep.
presentation.
So remember, guys, Q&A box, then we can address it later. So my name is Yao. I'm actually based in Malaysia. I represent Lincoln University. With me is actually Annie, my international director. She's based in Christchurch, but time to time she will visit the region. So she will go to Nepal, she will go to Vietnam, Thailand, even Indonesia as well. So we work closely together to support our agents and to support our students. So for Lincoln University, we're a specialist university, land-based programs. So you would think about like agriculture, forestry, environment. So this is what we represent from the New Zealand perspective of a specialist university. And these programs are also very aligned with national development, national security as well. So if you're from the government, if you're working closely with your national body, I think these programs will be very aligned. Then, if you're from Southeast Asia, there are Menaki Scholarship that offers fully funded tuition fees and also your living costs that is also aligned with the national development and security goals. So more on that later. So for Lincoln University, we're based in South Island. So in New Zealand, there's North and South Island. So South Island, we're based in Christchurch. Christchurch is the second largest city and also one of the fastest growing city as well. So if you're planning to stay long term, I think Christchurch will be beneficial. The living cost is slightly lower as well. So if you're bringing your family, it's going to be very suitable for you to set up. And in regards of the programs that we offer, our agriculture and forestry program is within the top 2% of QS ranking. And then, of course, the programs and all for masters and relevant bachelor programs, you'll be able to get 3 years postgraduate visa, which are what Soon mentioned earlier. Our programs are very integrated with practicals. So because of the agriculture syllabus, the environmental programs, you will need to actually go down to the field, visit farms, use your labs. So all these are also integrated with the industry. So our farms, just to give you a fun fact, we have, if you can imagine one football field, we have almost 5,000 football field size of farms that is like with Lincoln University. So some of them is in collaboration with the government, with like different private equities that utilize all this land to do their research. So our students also get the benefit of understanding what is the demand. So these are things that our students will go through from their syllabus up to when they graduate. They can probably work with these companies as well that are working closely with us. So our programs are all globally relevant. So let's say you want to go back to your home country to develop this area, definitely usable in regards of the knowledge that you get, the experience that you get. And our programs are also industry connected. As I mentioned, we have all this connection with companies, not just in New Zealand, but also overseas from Europe, from other countries as well. So this is just a comparison between costs. So I think if you're planning ahead in regards of how much you need to spend for your own tuition, for your own program, living costs and everything, this is just an overview. If you're talking about New Zealand, I highlighted 2 cities, Christchurch, which is where I'm from, where the Lincoln University is based, and then Auckland, right? So you would see that tuition fee, there is a significant difference. So if you're sort of like more tight in terms of budget, I think Lincoln University will be a good option if the program is offered at Lincoln. Then if you want to compare with our neighbors, for example, in Australia or even other English-speaking country like UK, Canada, you will see that is very more higher in the cost, not just on tuition, but also on the living costs. So I think overall, New Zealand has the best value in regards of having an education, high quality education, and also after you graduate, there's a lot of opportunities for you to stay back as well. So as Sun mentioned, as RBS mentioned, New Zealand is actually one of the more friendlier sort of like country that allows policies in regards of staying back, post-study work visa, and also the residence visa. So from bird's eye view perspective, we're based in Christchurch. If you can see towards the left bottom, that is where Lincoln University is based, roughly 20 minutes to 30 minutes from Christchurch City. From the airport, it's also roughly 20 to 30 minutes. So Lincoln University, we have our own accommodation, so you don't have to live in the Christchurch City. So it's more convenient in that sense. But of course, if you're with your family, if they prefer to be in the city, there would be other private homes option within the Christchurch City itself. So during summer, which is right now in New Zealand, there's a lot of activities that you can do during the summer. I think next couple of weeks is going to be Easter, so it's going to be buzzing around. Everybody will be going for hikings and stuff like that. So you'll be enjoying the weather and also the four seasons there in New Zealand. From the Lincoln University perspective, where we're based, you would see there's a lot, we are surrounded by a lot of farms and facilities. So even the accommodation is just a walking distance. So if you're staying with us at accommodation, it's much more convenient in that sense. But of course, if you are doing master's or PhD in research, time to time you will need to visit farms, time to time you need to visit the university supervisor. So it doesn't really matter where you're staying. You can stay in Christchurch City, work on your PhD on that area, but then again, university accommodation is available as well. So about Lincoln University, we're one of the oldest agriculture school in Southern Hemisphere. So that tells you a lot in terms of our expertise, our knowledge, and also our connection with the global partners that we have. And we also do have like significant partnerships, not just locally in New Zealand, but also overseas, like in China, in Europe, and other countries as well. So for ranking wise, we're ranked in 400 right now on QS, 407. And then in terms of staff that we have at a campus is roughly around 600. So our student numbers is not significantly huge, it's roughly 5,000, but our strength is basically on the relationship between the student and the lecturer. Because at the end of the day, you will need to build that and you'll be able to gain a lot of like a benefit from having that close connection. Because these lecturers that are also some of them, they are working in the industry still, so they have that connection, they have that research connection, so you'll be able to reach out to employers based on those kind of relationship that you can build. And these lecturers are not just like a Kiwi, they are not just New Zealander, they also are from like different countries, so they have that global network that you can rely on in regards of employment. So we have three main faculties. So you will see that we have the agriculture and life sciences, which is the biggest faculty that we have. So this focus on agriculture, soil and water management, farms, sort of like agriculture, horticulture studies. Then we do have the business school, which is under agribusiness and commerce, where we also offer finance, accounting, and also supply chain programs. And then we do have the environment and society design programs that focus more on the environmental studies, landscape architecture, and also like tourism and sport. So if you're in this field set, then we do have the programs that you can look into. And we do have this that we want to highlight, the Lincoln Agritech. It's a combination of agriculture and technology lab that we actually set up and also being used by global partners as well. So that's why students will benefit from these research. So this is just showing you that Lincoln University actually are very aligned with the national GDP in regards of agriculture. So a big 10% of New Zealand GDP is actually from the agriculture and agribusiness scene. So this is what we're trying to advocate. Everywhere you go, this field or this industry is very important. So especially right now, the uncertainty with the war and everything, fuels and everything is going to affect our agriculture. So imagine where you're from, you won't be able to get kiwis, like kiwi fruit from New Zealand. So how you gonna how you gonna survive? But just a joke. So in that sense, you will need to know how to be more sustainable in agriculture. So these are things that are very important, not just from New Zealand, but also back in your home country as well. So this sector will be booming or will be very, very in demand. So these are just the bachelor programs that we offer in different specialization perspective. So if you have questions, we can talk about this later. But just to give you a gist, the purple color programs, they are integrated with internships for one semester. The ones that are in black, you would have like a final year project that you need to complete. And then for the programs, there are star at the back. That is actually a 4 years program. So some of them is a honors program where you do a final thesis year that you can potentially skip a master program and get into PhD. Okay. This is for O-level student, or if you're from Malaysia, you have the SPM. So it's a pathway for you to actually complete like a bachelor degree in a more shorter period. So generally, if you go overseas or even study in Malaysia, for example, you need to spend at least 4 years to get a degree. So after SPM, if you choose our pathway, within 3.5 years, you'll be able to complete a degree and you can start working already. And this pathway is also a little bit more affordable compared to a traditional going through 1 year foundation, 3 years degree. Okay, so if you want to know more about this, reach out to us. We can have like a more private session to speak on this pathway. So these are the master's program. So taught masters, we do have a mix of conversion masters and the professional masters. So conversion masters that are in bold, you don't need to have a relevant background. So if you are from, let's say, education, or if you're switching from engineering to maybe business, these are the programs that you can apply for. You don't have to, you just need to meet the CGPA requirement, and you don't have to have like a similar background from your bachelor. So these are considered conversion master, which would help you to get into the post-study work visa and maybe residency later on. The ones that are just in normal fonts, you would need to have relevant background. So the university will assess your bachelor degree and to see whether you're fit to this program or not. Okay, so this is taught master, a coursework-based master, 1.5 year, or some of them is 1 year. This is going to be research. Research, the difference is you will need to complete a final thesis. You will also need to prepare a research proposal and also two academic reference. So this is the additional documents you need to prepare. So if your career is more towards being a researcher, working in labs, if you're working for government based on different projects, then the research master will be much more beneficial in that sense. Okay, so this is going to be 2 years, 240 credits. So you're paying 2 years of tuition fee. The number of post-study visa duration is going to be still the same, 3 years. So it really depends on what is your career goals. All right. So you will need to have relevant background for this in your bachelor. So if you didn't meet the requirement for our master's program, we do have graduate diploma and then leading to the master program. So this is more like a bridging course if you didn't meet the requirement, or if you do not have a relevant background, then our admissions may offer you the graduate diploma route. So you will need to spend additional 1 year or additional 6 months to actually meet the requirement before you get into the main program. Okay. Other than that, the general entry requirement, you just need to have 70% overall out of 100, or in GPA wise, out of 4 GPA, you need to have 3.0. That is the minimum to get into the program for masters. For bachelor, it depends on what qualification you have. But if you have questions for that, you can write into Q&A. We can answer you later. So we do accept IELTS one skill retake as well. So wherever you're from, if you're taking IELTS, the general bachelor program is going to be 6.0 overall. If it's master, then it's 6.5, as Raja mentioned. So 6.5, if you're missing like one skill or maybe 0.5, at Lincoln, we do offer one level free English. So 12 weeks study is roughly a semester study. You'll be in Lincoln. The tuition fee at the beginning you have to pay, but if you complete and go into the main program, then we will rebate the entire English course to your bachelor or master tuition fee. So at Lincoln, we offer this free English for one level if you're missing 0.5 component from your IELTS. Okay, so this is more like encouraging you to come early to actually get suited to the environment so that you can like adapt into the programs more easily. Right. So if you don't need it, then basically you meet the requirement. PhD, we can separately talk about this. It's more lengthy, but if you have any specific questions later on, I can answer. So I want to talk about the conversion masters a little bit more. So this is basically pathway to residence as well. It's not like green list level, but it's more like doing a master's, get your post-study work visa, and then slowly work your way into like a residence visa. So you don't have to have like a relevant background. As long as you meet the 70% benchmark for your GPA, then you can get into the program. So applied computing, you can also learn about business analytics. You can also do GIS, Geographic Information System, that you can help businesses to identify strategic location to build. So this is actually a very good program that we offer at Lincoln. Then the rising demand for fintech, those kind of digital bankings and stuff like that. So you learn about even ethical finance. So this is basically from the fintech investment management. And the other two masters would be on global management and marketing. This is going to be like supply chain, like a more mini MBA option that we offer at Lincoln. And another mini MBA, but it's focusing on finance. So these two, which is the global marketing and management and also finance, they have set subjects you must complete, right? No electives that you can pick from. But the two, which is fintech and applied computing, you have some choices of electives. Okay. So if you have questions on this later on, you can ask me in the Q&A. But these are basically it. Generally, all these slides onwards is more like our research with different entities, with different global partners that we have. So we really work a lot on biosecurity in regards of like pest management so that we can keep our crops more healthy and also more efficient in terms of like harvesting them. Then all this research in regards of being more sustainable in supply chain in agribusiness, how our team actually manage the dairy farms to be more sustainable in terms of dairy farming, and our project in regards of the global perspective of agriculture, where we integrate technology and also agriculture, which is very important, and all the things that we learn about energy harvesting for farms use, for agriculture use. So I can go on and on, but because this is basically our bread and butter, so we do have a lot of connection on this. So it's also very beneficial for PhD and also for a researcher to actually work with us in this field set. All right. So I think I'm just going to end my presentation here. Happy to oh, okay. This is also very important. So in regards of scholarship, undergraduate, we have up to 10,000. So this is if you have like a international qualification, for example, STPM or UEC, A-level, IB. So this sort of like qualification, then you'll be able to apply for the 10,000 one. The rest of the qualification, depending on which level you apply for, then you would have a respective scholarship amount. That one is all by application. It's not going to be automatic, right? So this is undergraduate. For the taught masters, then we do have the the scholarship that is offered to just taught masters. So we have the management side where you focus more on the business and also the more management style masters, and then we do have the more scientific one. So the value is different, 10,000 and 7,000 respectively. You will need to have at least B plus. So this is going to be automatic. So once you submit your application through RBS, our admissions would assess your qualification and award you accordingly if you meet the requirement. Then we do have the 15,000 one. It's more specifically for these four programs. You need to have at least an A average. So A average is going to be the GPA of 3.75. Okay, so that is basically my presentation from Lincoln University. Thank you. So I'm happy to hop on to the questions. Okay. Ooh.
Okay, let's start with the questions. Thank you, Yao. Let's start
Yep.
from the question. The first question for PhD admission by Q2 accepted people, is it possible receive fully funded?
Okay. So in regards of PhD, depending on what sort of scholarship that you apply for, Some university would have like full scholarship. So for Lincoln, doctor scholarship we already closed for this year. You might need to look at next year instead. But Mazia, you need to see what topic because each university they would have their own specialization. So if you already secure a supervisor or you already spoke to someone from any of the university, you can also ask them about possible funding and stuff like that. But generally, from the university, we have like our own scholarship for PhD students. But that depends on your topic. That depends on the faculty as well. Yeah. And then a follow-up question from Mazia about, oh, okay. So you did like a automation engineering. So at Lincoln, we do not have engineering specific PhD. If you're talking about engineering, it's got more like agriculture engineering, those kind of fields. So it's very specific. So I think if you're doing automation as a general one, then there might be other universities in New Zealand that RBS can help for to link you up with. So for example, Canterbury or even Auckland. Okay. Just prepare your proposal ready and the topic that you want to focus because looking for a supervisor is not easy in New Zealand. Um, I might be ranting on this a little bit because in New Zealand right now, PhD is actually on domestic fee. So it's very affordable. So that's why there are more and more demand, but we do not have sufficient supervisor from across all eight university because it's that popular in that sense. So you will need to really find the right supervisor and hopefully they have the capacity to help. Then you can apply for PhD or get an offer, and then RBS can help you with visas and everything. Okay. Uh, Next question will be from Kabe. Okay, Kabe, if you're still here, did you mention about what program you're applying for, Kabe? I'll move on to the next question first. So PTE, yes, for okay. Mazia, thank you for the question for English. Depending on which university also, all right? So if your research master just recently completed within 5 years, Lincoln University can waive off the English. But if you're applying for a different university, they will still need you to submit a PTE or IELTS. Yeah. But since your topic is under automation engineering, I think Auckland will need you to have IELTS. Canterbury, I'm not too sure. You need to check. Okay. Um, some ask. Oh, okay, supervisor. Okay. To your question, Sombore, um, each university they would have their designated website to actually for you to find the right supervisor. So let me show you an example. Hold on. Okay, I'm trying to share my screen. Just hold on. Oops. Wait, my screen went. Okay.
While searching for the site, I for those who want to do PhD, I think the first thing is that you must have a research proposal. Okay, when you have a research proposal, look for the right faculty, either in Lincoln University or any of the universities, and reach out to the lecturers and all the supervisors available. Okay,
Yeah.
only when these supervisors accept your proposal and willing to supervise you, then you can apply for admissions. Okay, when you
Yeah.
have gotten agreement or accepted the lecturer accepted your proposal, then you can talk to us. We can help you with the admission.
Yep. Correct. Thank you, Sun. So for example, from Lincoln, this is going to be our website to actually find your supervisor. So let's say, actually, I wanted to use this example for Sri from Indonesia. She's actually applying for PhD also, right? So if you find the supervisor already, you can click on their profile. Then based on their publication, you will need to see whether they are aligned or whether you're interested in their topic. You feel that maybe they can help you with your PhD or even research. then you can contact them directly. All right. But you should you should prepare your email and your proposal more like straight to the core. Like imagine, right, all the supervisor, they are getting tons and tons of email requests from different people from different country about PhD, about collaboration. So you need to be really decisive in terms of what you want to do to showcase that how they can help you and how you can relate to their studies as well. Okay, so do
I
your
just
best
wanna
from there.
I just want to add, to make things easier, because we do handle the PhD applications. So, if it's very easy, if you have your profile, your CV, your documents, we will evaluate it. And what makes it easy for certain programs is publications. Okay, this is a key when you're applying for PhD. So, Yao was saying there's many people that are applying for PhD to New Zealand because the price is also very attractive. It's very attractive, so that means there's a lot of competition. So RBS, we will evaluate your documents. We will help you step by step, because sometimes the we I'm not we basically will help you. I'm not saying that we will directly email these professors. No, we will guide you for the first step in terms of the application, the requirements, but in terms of getting your proposal accepted, that will be directly you liaising with the professor for for your PhD, and if they approve it, then we proceed with the application. So this is a process. It's not a quick process, but we've had students successfully get approved, and it's great because paying for PhD is up to 7 to 8,000 New Zealand dollars. So, but again, it's a process, and it's easy if you send us your profile. Okay, so I recap again for all of you, be it for masters or bachelors, you send us your CV, your documents. From there, we assess it and we guide you through the process. Okay.
Thank you, Raja.
Yeah.
So to the question of Sri, I know that you're applying for Menaki, and there might be some glitches on the Menaki website if you can't see that drop down. So there is like a chat box on Menaki website. You can maybe share your concerns on that, and then you can put the program, because I think for climate is part of the climate change sort of like subtopic in Menaki. So yes, our faculty is only three, so that's why we labeled it as like agriculture, environment, and also agribusiness. So I think it shouldn't be an issue, but if you can't find the drop-down options, right, then you can use that chat box, contact details on Menaki website to ask them. Then they can maybe guide you properly in regards of what is the selection. Okay, you probably have another few days left only as three to submit your Menaki. So you don't have to have an offer letter from university to apply for Menaki. Once you get selected, then the Menaki team can reach out to the university to apply for your programs and all. But you can also reach out to RBS so they can help you to like track all these kind of like details with the university as well with us for offers and everything. Okay. The next question is about bringing a spouse on diploma in agriculture. Um, this one I might not have sufficient information. Would
Okay, let me
from
answer this.
RBS.
Okay, let me answer this.
Yes.
Okay, it's not just any diploma agriculture. It must be
Mhm.
a diploma that
Green
is
list.
actually dealing with farm management or
Mm,
dairy technology. Okay, it's on the green list. But if your interest is to do that, then you need to also mention that which strain of specialization. Okay,
mm.
so it is possible, but talk to us first, then we can discuss with you. Okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then Master of Agriculture. Okay, so question from a student from Bangladesh. So if you already have like a master in agriculture, you can, because I don't think they want to do another PhD, right? You may not be looking into that. Then let me stop sharing. I think I can suggest you to do another master. If you're doing agriculture right now as your job, you can still sort of like look into other perspective. For example, precision agriculture, bioprotection. Let me show you.
Yeah, I agree. For people who are looking at PhD, yes, PhD is domestic, it's very cheap, but don't forget that PhD take more than 3 years. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
usually you will not be able to complete your thesis every research by 3 years unless you are very good. Okay,
Yeah.
imagine the time that you spend on the 3 years. Okay, and when you have a PhD, what is your job prospect? Because with the PhD, you won't get your residence unless you are able to get skill employment. I just tell
Mm-hmm.
you an example. There's one Pakistani who came to me. He did a PhD in physics. Okay, and he graduated. The problem is that, sorry, it's a he, it's a she. She completed. The problem is she couldn't find a job for 1.5 years, and end up she has actually during her post-study work visa period, she actually worked in the early childhood education, and she actually enrolled into another graduate diploma in early childhood education, and end up after the diploma, a graduate diploma in ECE, and she managed to find a job as a PhD candidate. So sometimes it's not about money, it's about the long-term journey, whether you
Yeah.
want a residence. And the best pathway to get residence is through a master degree because master degree open you up for more. For example, just now, if you already have a master in agriculture, you want to consider in master in management in a more which will open you more job opportunities rather than too specific to one particular skill set or particular industry. Okay.
Yep. Correct. Yeah. So what Sue mentioned also, because the PhD, right? People might think, oh, cheap, and then they come, right? But they can't finish, then it's also another another difficulty, you see. So please be sure that if you want to do PhD, you also need to showcase that you have done like research before, you are very capable and stuff like that. So not just go for that quick and easy, not even not quick. It's like you think that it's cheap, then you think it's easy. No, it's not that way, okay? So for the question on regards of Master of Agriculture that you've done, then you maybe can venture into the global management marketing if you're trying to develop that aspect of management skill set. If not, you can try to maybe look at management in agribusiness or precision agriculture. So this one, when you submit your application through RBS, the university will actually evaluate. If it's like similar to your degree, then they would suggest you to apply for another master instead, right? So this one, don't worry, when you submit your application, then we can evaluate.
Um,
Next,
Now,
yes,
just to add to
Nadia.
that, that is very true. Actually, it's easier when you apply for a second master's. The number of students that apply for a second master's get approval quite fast. So if you're worried, oh, I did my master's, how can I do another? New Zealand, it's very normal for you to do a second master's, and as soon and you said it's faster. If you're targeting your objective is the residency. Okay.
Mhm. Yep. Next question would be single parent and then still bring your child. I think
Now, let me
what I
answer this.
understand.
No, you
Mhm. Yep.
can't. You
Yep.
can't.
Correct.
Basically, because you are on student visa, your
Yep.
child cannot be dependent on you. Okay,
Mm.
your child can only dependent on your spouse
Spouse.
who holds a work visa. Okay,
Mhm.
so um, it's okay. Come and talk to us. We have other plans for you. What other alternative is that when you finish your study, when you get your post-study work visa, then you can bring your child
Mm.
to New Zealand. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm from
Right.
Indonesia. I want to study English in New Zealand. Does Lincoln University have English?
If you're talking about English course like enhance your English, then yes, we have. But if you're talking about English as like a degree or like a master, unfortunately, we do not have that. You can look at Auckland, you can look at I think AUT, if not mistaken. But there are other New Zealand university that offers that English master program or bachelor program. Okay. Next question would be, oh, okay. Kabir, you can just maybe leave your details later and then visit RBS office. They are just in Subang area. So depending on where you are in Malaysia, then you can visit and make appointment with them. Kabir, until now, I don't see what you want to study though. You didn't mention what background that you have. for your bachelor or for your master. Anyway, next question will be professional accounting. All right. So for this master program, you will need to have a CPA associate membership. So if you completed like accounting bachelor from back in your home and whatnot, you will need to go onto CPA website, register, and get sort of like a membership from them. So you need to pay a fee. This one is basically like a requirement from our program of professional accounting because we have affiliation with CPA. So that's the gist of it. But if you don't mind, later on you can submit your qualification over to RBS. We can evaluate and to see which option would be best for you. If you are keen to pursue professional accountant, then yes, that MPA, which is Professional Accounting Master, would be best suited. If not, you can consider the FinTech and Investment Management one. Okay,
Okay,
so
there's
that.
one question about I'm
Mm.
doing bachelor's in business in Malaysia. Um, can can this can he or she get a cross credit to News Lincoln University
Yep.
bachelor program?
We can try to get like credit transfer. So it depends on what topic you have done, what specialization. So it's going to be case by case. So we can definitely do that assessment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to add, you have to have your course syllabus to provide as well. So
Yep.
course syllabus would be crucial for that. Okay.
Well, yeah,
Mm.
just a caution. It takes time because we have done
Oh,
one
yes.
for Malaysia's university from Inti to Waikato or can't remember
Mm.
or Macy. It takes some time. It will take some time.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Kabe, your question again. So, don't have an English test. So as long as, okay, for Lincoln University perspective, if you just recently graduate within like 5 years, right, we can like accept this qualification from Malaysia because it's taught in English. So this is more like medium of instruction that we can accept. So only if you graduate within that 5 years. But other university will be different. Some of them might accept 2 years, some of them you will still need to have IELTS. So depending on what program and which university. Kevin, Philippines, engineering. Okay, this one we need to check whether you have any work experience in environmental management and also what sort of like elective subjects or even in your chemical engineering degree. Because our program in environmental management or environmental studies, right, you will need to have some relevant subjects that you have done in bachelor. So if you don't mind, you can leave your contact with RBS. They'll reach out to you to get your qualification and we can assess whether you are eligible for this program. And yes, we do offer scholarship. So for this program in environmental management, we offer up to 7,000 New Zealand dollars. So the respective master's program is roughly around 50 to 60,000 New Zealand dollars for the whole entire 1.5 year. So if you get 7,000, then it's gonna be just waived off from your tuition fee. Okay. But your perspective right now is whether you meet the relevancy of our master program. So we can check based on your bachelor, okay? So just submit your qualification over to RBS and check. Fishery. Okay. So for fishery, you can look at our taught masters in regards of environment and agriculture. So there would be subjects in that field, but it's not going to be huge. It's more towards contributing to overall agriculture. So if you're talking about fishery itself, it's not like a program itself, not a subject itself. It's more like how to say a relation over to this agriculture. So this will be same for Messi. This will be same for Otago as well. So not fully on fishery. But if you're talking about this fishery sort of like industry, right? We do also work with other countries. For example, Indonesia, they do send their masters and PhD student over to us to train this staff and all in this aspect. But overall agriculture space, okay? Uh, we have Bunto, I think I pronounced it correctly. Bunto Eun Singh from
Cambodia.
GI. Yeah. So in regards of university research program, so our GIS, it's under the applied computing. It's on an elective basis. It's not research. So this is taught master. But if you want to do research, uh, and if your topic is under more agriculture, you can actually take on the artificial intelligence in land use. That is going to be quite attractive for career in future. If not, the other one will be precision agriculture. So I think these two programs will be suitable for you if you're from a agriculture background. Uh, so if your bachelor is from Southeast Asia but used in English, then we can provide you that MOI option, medium of instruction. So if you graduate within 5 years, then we can use that as a base. Yeah, but not all countries. We need to see which Southeast Asia. I think if it's Malaysia, if it's like Philippines, I think, and also where else? Yeah, so depending on which country, so we can check once you submit your application when we can check on that. Okay, Master of Computer Science, PhD Computer. Um, for us, we do not have. For PhD, it's actually quite flexible. As long as you find the right supervisor, whichever university, right, should be okay. But if you want to look at computing, it's not really Lincoln's strength. You can look at Waikato or you can look at Auckland. So do maybe get to the websites and also check the relevant supervisor background. Yeah.
I
That'll
add to
be,
that, if you're
yeah.
doing computer science, right now there is a few programs under masters that you can actually do a second master. So if you want to be accepted and go to New Zealand and it's going to be difficult for the PhD, please do consider doing a second master's. And I can recommend to you a few programs, so you can always contact us after this. I mean, just keep your options open. Don't just think, okay, I'm just gonna do my PhD. Think also, what else could you do? You could do another master's. Okay.
Thank you, Raja. So for question to Mazia about her English, you don't have to, if you graduate within the 5 years, like recent 5 years, then you don't need to provide PTE or like IELTS. That is if you apply to Lincoln. But if it's like other university, as I mentioned before, right, they have different English requirements. So check with their university respectively. Okay. For Kabe, CGPA in architecture. If you planning to do like a Master of Landscape Architecture with us, this GPA is a bit low. You might need to do like a graduate diploma first before you get into a master. So our requirement, you need to have at least 3.0 GPA. 2.3 is a bit low. Okay. Rifat BB asked about medical imaging. Auckland or Otago. Okay, short and quick. Not Lincoln. Gap. There's no issue about gap, Rifat in New Zealand. So if you have study gap, if you went for work and stuff, New Zealand, no issue. You can apply as well. Uh, Enfield ultrasound. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. If you want to switch over to the second master like global management, sure. The scholarship is up to 15,000. GPA, you need to have at least 3.75 out of 4, then definitely. But you're gonna give up that ultrasound. I'm a bit the MPhil ultrasound degree. You sure that you want to give up that space? But it's up to you. So if let's say you want to just go for quick option, then of course the global management one will be doing like a mini MBA to develop your management skill set. Then you can look for jobs related to that field. Maybe you can be like a supplier for ultrasound devices and whatnot. Yeah. So just plan around it. Next question from Shed Farhan. Computer science, no. Applied computing, yes. So on the slide right now, you will see there's a Master of Applied Computing. So you can apply for this program. Uh, Study gap,
Study
no
gap
issue.
is 20 years. Yeah.
It's no issue. I mean, if you
No, I
still
think
have,
maybe let me explain.
yeah,
In New Zealand, we don't consider study gap. So long
Yep.
the gap, what we consider is that if there's a gap that you're not working, you're not studying, there's a gap. But if you are after you study and you work for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, that's not a
Mm,
gap. Okay,
mm,
there's a continuous progressions.
yep.
Yeah.
So no issue. So definitely you can apply for the Master of Applied Computing if you want. Yeah. Next, I think high school grade 11. Okay, grade 11, then you can start with our foundation pathway. So you will go through 6 months foundation. Here. So 6 months foundation, getting into 1 year diploma. And then once you finish the diploma, you get into year 2 degree. So you're not actually missing out. So if you go onto our website also, the diploma pathway is actually for you to select the year 1 bachelor subjects. So it's a no-brainer that it's just a year 1 degree and it's also slightly cheaper from a traditional year 1 degree. All right. So, Danette, if you are interested, you can provide your grade 11, depending on which country you're from, right? And which sort of like national exams and whatnot. So we can provide you this option of pathway foundation, followed by diploma and 2 years degree, or even 3 years degree, depending on the specialization.
All
I
right,
think we
great. I
covered most
think
of the question. Yep.
Yep. I think we answered most of the question. I think great. I think for those that who have other questions and still want to ask us, send us your CV, email us at hello@rbsintellect.com so that we can guide you and can help you. And if you have any specific question related to Lincoln, we'll direct your question to Lincoln as well. So
Mhm.
thank you, everyone. Thank you, Yao. And I just want to say that lately we have been very successful in sending some school students to Lincoln University. We have a lot of interest from Cambodia, from Vietnam, and especially the global, what they call it, master in the
Global
global,
management and marketing. Yeah.
yeah, global management and marketing is
Yep.
becoming very, very popular. Okay,
Mm.
so if you have any more questions, okay, we can end now. Do we have anything to say, Raja?
No,
Yeah.
if you guys are free to stop by anytime to our office, that'd be great. We're basically located in Subang Jaya, at Easy Home. I mean, it was known as Damen, but it's now called Easy Home Mall. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you can go to rbsintellect.com
Yeah.
website and can find all
Yes.
our addresses, all our
Yes.
branches around the country, around the world. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Len, anything from you?
Hi, yeah. I just want to clarify, I'm not based in the Philippines. I'm based in Auckland. But you can always message me or email me, and you can start with hello@rbs.com, rbsintellect.com, and then yeah, expect me to reach out to you.
Thank
Yep.
you. Yao,
Yep,
any last
thank
word?
you. Yeah, I just want to thank the RBS for hosting this session. I think it's very informative for our students, for
Yeah.
our potential prospects that are considering New Zealand. And New Zealand is actually really sort of like friendly in regards of like bringing your family, progression over to residence and whatnot. So it just depends on what you want to look for, as in which city you want to base and what career aspiration that you're looking at. And then
Yeah.
RBS also, they can work through online as well. So if you're from a country that doesn't have like a specific RBS branch there, we can also work with you via online to get all your documents and then submit over to New Zealand University itself, right? So just stay safe in between, just plan ahead and reach out to us if you have any further questions about New Zealand. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone.